Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really fascinating question. What happens when the stories we've been telling for centuries just don't fit our world anymore? We're going to explore how storytelling is changing to keep up with our complex reality, using some incredible insights from the book Future Theory. So let's just jump right in with this. In a world that's all about global networks, constant surprises, and changes you can't undo, do our old, simple stories, the ones with a neat beginning, middle, and end, even make sense anymore? All right, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start by looking at why those classic story structures are starting to feel a little shaky. Then we'll get into some really cool, powerful new ways to think about how a story can work. And finally, we'll see how understanding all this stuff can actually give you the power to rewrite your own future. Okay, first up, let's talk about why those classic narratives we all know, like the hero's journey, are starting to feel like, well, like an old map for a brand new world. This slide really nails the problem. See, classic stories love a straight line. One hero, a clear goal, a nice, tidy ending. But our reality, it's a messy, tangled web of systems. There isn't just one hero, there are countless perspectives. And, maybe most importantly, things happen that you can't just take back. And this is so crucial. It's an idea inspired by George Orwell. The words we use, the stories we tell, literally build the future we can imagine. So if we want a different future, we need a richer language for our stories, one that can actually handle how complex things really are. So where do we find this new language? Well, a good place to start is by taking apart one of our most basic ideas, the idea that time just moves in a straight line. Okay, so here's a fantastic word for a feeling I bet you've had: heterochrony. It sounds complicated, but it's not. It's that feeling when time gets all layered up, like you're rushing to meet a deadline, but you're also waiting for what feels like an eternity for someone to text you back. And at the same time, a memory from 10 years ago feels more real than the chair you're sitting in. That's heterochrony. It's time, but all jumbled up. And wow, this piece of art by Mona Hatoum is just a perfect picture of that idea. Look at how all these different moments are layered on top of each other. You've got the person, the old letters, the screen. They're all right there in the same space, showing us exactly how memory, distance, and what's happening right now can all be felt at the exact same time. And, this isn't just an abstract idea for artists. It's a deeply real human experience. The theorist Mike Ball puts it perfectly. For a migrant, this feeling is constant. You have the super fast pace of a new life, clashing with the agonizingly slow wait for news from home. It's like two different clocks running inside you at the same time. Okay, so if time isn't just one single straight line, then maybe the story isn't just in one single place either. What if we stop looking at the center of the picture for a change? For literally centuries, our stories have been all about one main character: the king, the detective, the chosen one, right? Everybody else is just a side character. But what if the real story, the most interesting stuff, is actually happening out on the edges? This is such a mind-bending idea. Instead of one main story and a bunch of little side stories, what if reality is actually just a huge network of interconnected edges? There is no center. There are just countless, equally important stories all happening at once. So we've kind of smashed the idea of linear time and the single hero. We're left with all these pieces, these fragments. So what now? How do you actually build new, powerful stories out of that? The trick is to actually embrace this idea of fragmentation. And this isn't about telling broken, unsatisfying stories. It's about seeing the fragments as a strength. It's a way to tell stories that refuse to pretend they have a single, simple answer for everything. It's a story that stays open to possibilities. Yeah, at its core, the fragment just says nope to any single story that claims to explain the whole world. It knows that any time a story tries to explain everything, it's definitely leaving some important things out. And that means a story made of fragments is never really done. It's always in motion, always kind of unworking itself and being put back together in new ways. It's alive. And maybe the best part is this: it frees all of us, the storyteller and the audience, from having to follow some boring, predictable script. It makes room for real surprise, for something genuinely new to happen. Now, this diagram gives us a really powerful way to picture how this kind of world building can happen. It all starts with these powerful emotions, love and rage. They become the fuel for the engine of creating. And those creative acts, They don't just make art. They literally crack open other time and other space. This is basically a blueprint for building brand new realities that exist outside of the old dominant story. So, why does any of this matter if you're not writing a novel? I mean, this is cool, but what's the point for the rest of us? Well, the point is that these ideas are powerful tools for rewriting the most important story there is, your own life. Seriously, thinking this way gives you a toolkit for a kind of personal revolution. It helps you see the invisible scripts you might be living by. Stories about what success looks like or who you're supposed to be. And it gives you the power to break free and start writing your own story. So how do you actually do this? Here are 3 big takeaways. First, find the periphery. Go out of your way to listen to people and stories you don't normally hear. Second, embrace the fragment. Your life is not a perfect straight line, and that is a beautiful thing. Find meaning in all the different pieces, even the ones that don't seem to fit together. And third, practice what the book calls hospitality. It just means being radically open to whatever comes next without trying to force it to be something you already know. And that really brings us back to the heart of it all. It leaves us with one final question for you. If your life really is a story, what amazing things could happen if you stopped trying to predict the ending and instead just got excited to write a totally unexpected next chapter?